Hey everybody, Colin Campbell. Thank you for registering for Thursday's webinar. It was kind of a fire hose of a video out there, so forgive me for that. I am absolutely thrilled that you'll be joining. Really look forward to opening this dialogue and learning more about you and your vision, your organization. I'm certain that we can help you lead transformation, breakthrough transformation in the coming months and years. Right now, towards the end of September, is the perfect time to start getting ready for 2024. In fact, if this looks like a fit, we can probably get rolling right away in October, and you and I can get a lot of traction ahead of the holidays. But that's getting ahead of myself. We're going to be covering a lot of material on Thursday, and I want to let you know a bit more about the framework to make sure that it's a match for you, that it's the right fit. I know your time is valuable, and you can't get it back, and there's a lot of junk out here, so I'm sensitive to that. So this webinar is going to be all about igniting and leading enterprise transformation so that regardless of everything else that's going on right now in your organization, you can start taking steps in these coming weeks and months to prepare to align everyone and immediately establish momentum and get traction at the beginning of next year after the holidays. If you aim to fundamentally transform your organization, starting next year, now is the time to start preparing. In fact, I want to give you a tool here in the next couple of days, in fact, that you can start to use to think about and open up maybe a new way of seeing and mapping your organization. It's a simple little tool, and it's not a requisite, but it's a way of looking at things a little bit differently. So I'm going to send that. But first, I want to clarify some of the biggest misconceptions about what we do and how we do it. The first one's a big one. And that is that I'm not a consultant or a trainer or a coach or a guru. The essential difference between ThoughtSpin and others that are out there that are helping you make better decisions is that I do not operate from the premise that I'm an expert on your business, nor do I know your business better than you or your teams do. I am not coming in with maturity models, benchmark studies, research, primary research, and I don't waste time surveying your teams. We would never ask you to outsource your thinking to us. We're not coming in to train anyone. I'm not selling software. In fact, we're not really selling anything. We are, in fact, we're compatible with your existing consultants and your vendors and your internal ODL teams and your strategy groups. In fact, if you have a strong ODL competency, an org development competency, that's going to be helpful. ThoughtSpin was founded 5 years ago on the premise that organizations like yours have sufficient wisdom in-house all throughout the organization, and that there are a lot of good people doing a lot of good things all over the company. But it's your top untapped resource as well. The wisdom in your company that needs to be surfaced. It's locked up today. It needs to be unlocked. It needs to be aligned. It needs to be focused. It needs to be better connected with each other and with your intentions, your strategy, your vision, right? Maybe people don't get it. They're well-intentioned, but they're tangled up in taking action without considering the strategic impact of the actions they're taking. Maybe they aren't seeing the bigger picture. Maybe they don't have the context to see the bigger picture. Initiatives aren't returning what was promised, even if they were successful from a project management perspective. Maybe they aren't hitting the intentions that they had. There's treating of symptoms. Look, there's pressure coming in probably from the board. Consumer expectations are rising. And fundamentally, though, there's another level possible for your company. And for some companies, it might be imperative that next level is reached quickly. This is what we do. Our methods, our techniques, our tools are designed to facilitate your transformational leadership, your style, your givens. What we do is we work with you to design and lead carefully crafted, fundamentally strategic conversations in proven patterns that help teams, sometimes large teams, sometimes very large teams, up to 47 people, that one of the recent ones we did, helping those people get it. And what does that mean? It means unlocking your potential as a leader and helping you unleash the power of your people. We work with you to design and create the opportunity for your leaders, not only on your senior team, but also in the minds of your rising leaders and maybe even people on the front lines, to grasp, synthesize, take ownership of the vision, to connect with it, make it their own, connect with the strategy, improve on it, build on it, right? Individually in small groups, team, create, innovate on it, open it up, make it relevant to them, something that they can own, and then drive it forward throughout the company in their day-to-day work. The one exception I said to the fact that we're not coming in with expertise is that sometimes in certain innovation circumstances, certain perspectives need to be amplified with some outside material. So sometimes we'll do that. But broadly, that's not what we do. I know it sounds like a stretch. I know it feels like this is a big, soft, pushing around clouds thing, and I felt the same way for 20 years. Over and over again, from 98 to 18, it was a repeated challenge of annual planning and never quite getting the traction, never quite getting an enterprise perspective adopted across everywhere. And finally in 2018, for me, a light bulb went on, and I found something kind of obvious in retrospect that really changed everything. And some people that were doing some amazing stuff. And I went deep on it and started to click and kind of, I took it, developed some models, some improved on the methods. We developed them, we tested them, and that's the framework that we're going to be walking through. How we've seen transformation happen, how we've seen transformation be ignited, and how you can do it, how we can help you reach your potential. I'm breaking it broadly into 4 big pieces because there's a lot of material. The first piece is being a transformational leader. We're only going to spend a little bit of time on this on Thursday because arguably it's the softest stuff, but it's so important. It's so fundamentally important for you to see that I think it's worthwhile. But what we're going to share is some non-traditional ways that we're seeing people deal with the chaos and complexity that we're seeing out in the world. And we're seeing some high-performing CEOs leverage some new perspectives right now. So we're going to share those. But ultimately, being a great, brilliant person, a great superstar CEO is not enough. There are a lot of great people who haven't driven the change that they could have, haven't gotten the traction. Because many times, leading transformation is more than about you. It's about your framework. It's not who you are. It's how you see the organization, the way you conceptualize it, the way you see your responsibility and flesh out your vision for it, how you see what you see your organization becoming, where you see it going, your intentions, your expectations, where you and your leadership focuses. This is where we start, and the seeing part is where we start to add value, right? This is where we begin with your givens. In fact, like I said earlier, I'm going to give you a little bit of a head start on this even before we meet and give you the best framework we've developed for building out that comprehensive vision that you can use to start to think about your company in a slightly new way. You're going to get arguably, in fact, our best tool right up front before we even meet. It's proprietary. We designed it. It's been proven. I've been iterating on it and battle testing it for like 20 years, and we've used it in a variety of contexts. And it's even in its most sort of broad sense, it can help you develop your vision. Finally, if we're talking about being and seeing, we also need to talk about engaging, how you engage your organization. That's the third component, right? How you participate and interact. This is where we do most of our work, right? This is where we work with our enterprise clients because this is when transformation happens. Invariably, there are certain things that emerge through that work then that also require investment and focus, and we're calling those the fourth component here, amplifiers. Accelerators, things like how good is your organization at focused innovation or execution. Transformation is dependent on execution, right? Where are you at with your relationship development sequence from the beginning of the relationship journey all the way to the end? So anyway, those are amplifiers and accelerators. We'll talk a little bit about those and how and when they typically emerge through the process, through the engagement. But overall, to simplify it, transformational leadership is about being. It's about how you are, how you see the world, how you engage your organization, how you see the organization, how you conceptualize it, and then how you interact with it, right? How you engage. Being, seeing, engaging, and then we're going to talk a little bit about those amplifiers and accelerators that can potentially, if they are seen ahead of time and invested in ahead of time, can collapse the amount of time it takes to ultimately get to some of the big deliverables. Because to be candid, what will likely happen, what we've seen happen, is that things like metrics, things like execution, things like innovation, the groundwork isn't always there. Different companies have different strengths. Different companies are at different points along the curve on those things. But if we can get ahead of those, and as soon as we can see that those are things that will be essential to have in place and essential competencies to be strong at in order to deliver on the transformational work, we're going to want to invest in those and get them launched. But again, getting way ahead of myself. Bottom line, thank you for joining. Looking forward to it. We're passionate about this. Really excited to meet you, and think you're going to have a good time, and we'll have a good session. So see you there.